The content on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only. Please contact a professional when it comes to your financial needs. With the new year ushering in, there are some new expenses, especially for those of us who are getting out of school at the 26 to 30-year age range. These increases in just daily cost of living are hitting you the hardest. And we're going to explain why right here, right now on the Ujama Network. I went to college a little late, like 4 years late. I got left high school for 4 years, floated around, went ahead and did 4 years of college after I tried to get out there and work. During that time, I lost my mom, who was my primary parent, and I really wasn't ready for the world when I graduated. Not only am I now having to be responsible for these loans I took out while I was in school, I had no health care. This is the situation, a predicament that a lot of 26, say 24 to 30-year olds are going to find themselves in. You have not yet reached your maximal earning potential, yet the expenses for just living in America just went up this month. What I'm talking about is the ACA um, expiration of those subsidies, and of course, the student loan garnishment. Now, if you are not in default on your student loans, stay that way. You do not want a garnishment on your record at any point in time, least of all for a student loan. Those of us who have graduated years ago and simply didn't keep up with your student loans or you didn't pay them, that is a decision that's on you. However, last year was opportunity to make sure you're not in default. We did a video on this previously, but this 1-2 punch is going to take a lot of people out, and I don't really have any solutions for you if you find yourself in that rock and hard place. I'm going to talk about what we're seeing in terms of increases on both scales as far as how much you're going to be paying at a time you are least able to afford it. Let's talk about the increase in the premiums for the insured. They're going to go up an average of 114%. We're talking about an average annual cost of $884 under the subsidies to up to $1,900. Now, if you can afford a now $1,100 increase in anything this year, hats off to you. But this is going to hit people where it hurts. If you go in to a medical office, you're still not covered all the way for any ailment you have. And that premium is just keeping your insurance alive. This has nothing to do with the deductible that you're going to have to meet before your insurance even kicks in, which is also on the increase. Now, the numbers that we just went over were people at or below the federal poverty level. That's their increases. What about the rest of us who are making around 50,000 to 100,000 a year, somewhere around there? Well, you're going to see a quarter of your income now go to your healthcare if you maintain it. That's right. Your healthcare premiums will be one quarter of your income. So if you're earning $60,000, $15,000 a year now goes to premiums. And it gets worse. Let's backtrack a little bit because this is a real big tax increase, essentially, on the American middle class or what's left of it. In this last example, that was people at or above $64,000, somewhere around there. What if you made $62,000? Well, you'd see your maximum go down to $6,200 a year. Still unaffordable. But if you're just catching yourself and your income right now and you're bringing home between $58,000 and $62,000, yeah, you just slid under the radar. If you do any overtime at that salary, that's people who are making either 30 to $35 an hour. If you do the overtime that puts you over $64,000, your healthcare costs are going to rise to $15,000. That is insane. It's almost an incentive not to work hard, not to do any overtime, because you're going to have to pay all that money back in premiums if you decide to keep it. $6,000 to $15,000. That is absolutely insane and unsustainable. Now, this is the second part of that nastiness that's coming. Not only do you have these added costs from healthcare, those of you who are still paying back your student loans and manage to stay out of default, kudos to you. But those of you who are, and yes, there is a smaller percentage of people who are in default, but still, those are people nonetheless. And now the collector is the federal government, who not only has the power to garnish your wages, but to snatch any refund you may have been due if you were working. It's a nasty way to go, but unfortunately, even in this, there is an opportunity for people to profit off of your misery. What am I talking about? I just bought some stock in Navient. This is a company that specializes in collections on student loan and medical debt. It's just that simple. You know, when it starts to rain, you know, hey, the umbrella maker is happy. When, it's flooding, mm, the boatman is very, very happy. You got to be that boatman. You have to be the umbrella maker. It's as simple as that. As bad as we may feel for our fellow man, there are opportunities that are coming up. I think the wise money would be where I just did is purchase some stock in Navy and might purchase some more just to see what happens. Again, we're all about building generational wealth. And unfortunately, if you're not paying attention to the things around you, you probably won't have a position on this. I'm thinking this is going to be a lot worse than it is, and I'm going to capitalize off of it. So that's what I'm doing. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'll talk to you soon.